Welcome to a deeper dive into part of the Technoprogressive Roadmap for the UK, looking at the two goals in the sphere of increased individual human flourishing, a goal for increased health span and a goal for increased mental and emotional fitness. Goal 1 is that the average health span in the UK will be at least 90 years, up from 63 as at present. The rationale for this goal is that good bodily health is the starting point for all other activities. Declining health diminishes human opportunities and curtails human freedoms as bodies and minds become enfeebled. Declining health can also impose huge social and healthcare costs. Sadly, the healthcare budgets in countries all around the world are already creaking under severe stress. However, there will be significant benefits, both socially and economically, to extending health span and thereby delaying the onset of chronic diseases of aging. These benefits are known as the longevity dividend. Happily, these benefits now lie within our grasp. Health span is the amount of time an individual can live independently, without being hospitalized or requiring regular support from healthcare assistants or family or friends. It can also be measured as the amount of time that someone would assess their own health as being good or very good. The latest figures from the UK's Office of National Statistics for expected lifespan in the UK are 82.9 years for women and 79.2 for men. The same data source states that healthy life expectancy is 63.6 years for females and 63.1 years for males. In other words, these figures predict that someone will, on average, be fully healthy for only 77 to 80% of their lifespan. Unfortunately, the figures for expected health span are actually declining. For example, the expected health span for women has decreased by 3 months over the last 6 years. But things don't need to be this way. Forthcoming new treatments have a great deal of potential. Treatments from fields such as regenerative medicine, nanosurgery, 3D bioprinting, genome reprogramming, stem cell therapies, and AI-driven healthcare solutions. What these treatments have in common is the possibility of early, low-cost preventive interventions to repair the low-level wear and tear damage that accumulates over the years throughout people's bodies as a byproduct of normal living. These treatments will reduce or even eliminate the root causes of chronic diseases. Diseases such as heart disease, cancer, dementia, stroke, and diabetes. The result will be like the regular visits to the dental hygienist that reduce the risk of gum and tooth disease, except that the set of diseases prevented by the periodic low-level bodily cleansing and repair will be much wider. To accelerate progress, 2 targets for 2025 are proposed. The first target is a clear demonstration of mid-age rejuvenation of animals with much smaller lifespan than humans, animals such as mice in the first instance, and then pet dogs. These demonstrations will change the public mood concerning the development of similar treatments for humans. The second target is to establish a society-wide understanding of the principles of the longevity dividend and of the measures that can be taken in due course to reduce the costs of rejuvenation therapies so that everyone can benefit from them. The first interim target will help convince more people that extending health span is possible, and the second interim target will help convince more people that extending health span is desirable. Goal 2 is that at least 99% of people in the UK will experience their mental health as good or excellent. Far too many people nowadays suffer from deep depression, crippling anxiety, biting loneliness, distressing mood swings, and suicidal tendencies. Indeed, suicide is now the leading cause of death of men in England and Wales between the ages of 20 and 49. The WHO has predicted that depression will be the single largest cause of disease burden worldwide by 2030. This is just the start of how poor mental health reduces the quality of human experiences. Even when people don't report themselves as being mentally ill, they often fall victim to herd mentality, willful deception by others, and self-deception, as well as manipulation by commercial factors or other social pressures. We are too prone to what are known, in polite language, as cognitive biases, and in plain language, as collective stupidity. Despite having clever brains with access to huge amounts of information, we frequently use our intelligence unwisely, finding arguments that appear to justify us staying in our current mental ruts. Poor mental health has consequences not only for individuals, but for society as a whole. Ill-judged actions arising from disturbed mental processing worsen social strains. Indeed, mental ill health often leads to behaviour that is fanatical, fundamentalist, criminal, or socially divisive, as well as self-harming. It doesn't have to be like this. 21st century understanding of the brain and mind suggests a number of steps that can be pursued. This includes greater access to mindfulness training, guided meditations, guided hypnosis, and guided lucid dreaming. It includes an improved understanding of the impact on mental health of diet, exercise, and sleep. Potentially, it also includes wise use of selected psychedelics, as is being investigated by the Centre for Psychedelics Research at Imperial College. It includes monitoring of mental state via biofeedback and other measurement systems. It might also include so-called smart helmets to deliver transcranial direct current stimulation, TDCS, or other electromagnetic stimulation. It includes personalized, intelligent assistance, which can coach people regarding actions likely to affect their mental health. Moreover, these science-based tools and techniques that work on the individual level will be supported by a greater awareness of how mental well-being is impacted by two sets of context. The first context is our social circumstances, including relentless bombardment by advertising, fear of falling behind or missing out, and other worries related to money and work. Addressing this context involves improvements in social well-being, covered in later parts of the Technoprogressive Roadmap. The second context is our personal philosophies, including the mental stories we tell ourselves, stories that are often unhelpful. Accordingly, a key factor in overcoming adverse mental patterns will be a better self-vision for people to keep in their minds, such as the positive techno-progressive vision of working towards a society with an abundance of human flourishing. Such a vision can help people to transcend and overcome self-destructive mental tendencies. To accelerate progress, two targets for 2025 are proposed. The first target is a demonstration of the effectiveness of some of these newer proposed treatments. These demonstrations will change the public mood concerning the development and wider application of such treatments. The second target is to change the legislation which unnecessarily constrains the wise use of some of these treatments, especially legislation over psychedelic drugs and other psychoactive substances. See other videos in this series for more information about the Technoprogressive Roadmap published by the UK's Transhumanist Party.